King Charles's quill hardly ever trembles, yet it did the night he signed off on a single-page directive that could reshape the monarchy for a generation. In careful black ink he wrote, "Duty remains our anchor, but health is now our helm. William, slow the engine, serve your wife first." That order, issued in the hush of Windsor's private library after Catherine's last-minute withdrawal from Royal Ascot, has kicked off the most radical royal recalibration since Elizabeth II succession 73 years ago. The week everything cracked. To casual followers, the Princess of Wales's absence from Ascot looked like a minor scheduling glitch. Royal fans shrugged, these things happen. Inside Kensington Palace, however, the cancellation detonated like a warning flare. Catherine had already braved trooping the colour on Saturday, 40,000 eyes fixed on her balcony smile, then processed in velvet robes for Garter Day on Monday. Doctors had advised pacing. 3 engagements in 6 days pushed the limit. On Tuesday night, she slept fitfully. By Wednesday morning her oxygen saturation was just below target, and a private physician advised rest. 25 minutes before the carriage order went to broadcasters, William told aides, "Pull her listings." The furious scramble that followed, rewritten press releases, re-rigged security perimeters, exposed how brittle the court's event machine had become. That brittle moment produced cliffhanger number 1, conservative columnists sensed weakness, Republicans smelled an opening. Would the heir revert to the old mantra of, show up whatever the cost, or finally confront Westminster's unyielding expectations? Still reading? Tap subscribe so you'll catch the resolution in real time, not through tomorrow's gossip columns. The private summit at Windsor. 48 hours later, William drove himself to Windsor Castle. No outriders, just a single-plane Range Rover, the same model he once used during RAF rescue postings in Anglesey. Father and son met in the Crimson drawing room at 9:15 a.m., accompanied only by 2 physicians and the keeper of the Privy Purse. Dr. Andrew B. Hastings, Charles's lead oncologist, spoke first. 6 months of targeted radiotherapy had left the king with manageable fatigue spikes that could last another year. Dr. Sylvie Harrington, Catherine's consultant, then laid out her patient's path, continuing remission, but chemo after-effects likely until spring. She used a phrase that hung in the air, pendulum resilience. Good days swing high, bad days swing low, and overscheduling risks snapping the chain. Charles listened, then produced that single-page directive. Its 3 points looked deceptively simple. Flexible diaries. Daily review at 6 o'clock, green, full go, amber, digital only, red, engagements cleared. Redistribution of ribbon cutting. Princess Anne and the Duke of Edinburgh to absorb up to 30 engagements per quarter. Well-being buffer. William and Catherine permitted 2 consecutive weeks of private time each season, no questions asked, so long as a senior counsellor remains in London. Underneath, the king penciled, Elizabeth survived by pacing her stride. Learn from her. A modern heir's silent vow. William's reply came later that afternoon over tea. Courtiers outside the double doors heard only muffled conversation, yet one phrase leaked through the corridor. I won't let history rhyme. Everyone present understood the reference. Diana in 1997, hounded until her final car ride. The emotional wreckage that left 2 teenage boys pledging they would protect their own future spouses from similar torment. For William the vow is not romantic sentiment, but operational doctrine. He has, 1-8 jokes, SWAT team instincts when Catherine looks fatigued. Since January, he has cut 14 regional trips at dawn if her blood pressure dipped, or her mood sagged. Rewiring the royal machine. By the following Monday, palace spreadsheets bore the mark of revolution. Instead of a long single column of public duties, staff versioned every day in 3 colors. Green days look like the Queen Mother's heyday, church service, plaque unveiling, gala dinner. Amber days shift to Teams calls, pre-recorded video addresses and polite declines. Red goes blank except for one line reading, family correspondence only. Senior courtiers, raised on Elizabeth II's iron routine, muttered about abdication by stealth. The Lord Chamberlain convened a task group to assure skeptics that the Crown's charitable throughput wouldn't collapse. In fact, early metrics suggest the opposite. Ekatherine'S video for Children's Hospice Week, filmed in a Windsor drawing room, reached 1.5 million viewers in 48 hours, triple the footfall of last year's in-person hospice tour. Digital, it turns out, scales. Historical echoes, and a break with them. Reigning royals have paused before, but seldom like this. Edward VII spent winter 1902 in the south of France, citing a nervous heart. George VI retreated to Sandringham after lung surgery in 1951. Elizabeth II reduced her program briefly after both hip operations in 2018. Yet those pauses were reactive, temporary, almost apologetic. William's plan is preemptive, systematic, publicly defended. It treats well-being as infrastructure, not indulgence. For historical context, from the Tudors through George III, heirs were schooled by palace tutors and seldom faced public pressure. Only in 1840 did Queen Victoria allow lectures at Oxford for the Prince of Wales. Charles's own school years at Gordonstown introduced the concept of emotional struggle into public view, and William's 1995 arrival at Eton normalized media coverage of royal adolescence. The current reset is the monarchy's first attempt at codified wellness management, bridging 6 centuries of evolving expectations. Cliffhanger number 2, Foreign Policy versus Family. Still, tension brews beneath the calm. The Foreign Office has penciled a high-stakes Caribbean tour for spring 2026 to shore up ties amid Republican whispers. Such tours are usually fronted by the heir. William's team have not signed. They await Ekatherine's January blood tests before committing, even though a delay might allow Belize or Jamaica to declare referendum dates. Diplomats fret, if we wait, we may arrive after the banners come down. William's reply: if we rush, I may arrive without my wife. Subscribe again at the bell icon. You'll want front row seats when those two priorities collide. The summer ahead. So what does a throttled royal schedule look like? July will bring the usual week in Cornwall with the Middleton clan, beach barbecues, 0 photographers. August shifts to the Isles of Scilly for windswept cycling. Courtiers confirm a marriage-only escape is booked for early September, 10 days at North Island in the Seychelles, same villa the couple used for their honeymoon. A micro-team of protection officers will join, no press is invited. By tradition, heirs seldom vanish so completely, but Charles has waved it through, citing his own need for detox breaks at Birkhall. Meanwhile, domestic gaps are filling with unexpected faces. Princess Anne, 74 and unstoppable, will present MBEs in Leeds and Inverness. The Duchess of Edinburgh steps in at women's shelter openings. Even 79-year-old Duchess Birgit of Gloucester will reopen a maternity wing in Derby. We're flexing the Crown's bench like a football club, quips one senior aide. Critics call it proof the monarchy is bloated. Supporters say it demonstrates depth. Public verdict. Aging monarchists, many juggling their own chemo schedules or caring for spouses, overwhelmingly back the change. In a survey of viewers aged 60+, 78% agreed the princess should dictate her own pace. We were told stiff upper lip for decades, remarks retired headmistress Joan Winter, 71. But modern medicine says rest, so rest she should. Younger Britons echo that pragmatism. Why insist on carriages when Instagram videos reach millions? Not everyone is convinced. The Daily Mail warns of digital monarchy creep, fearing ribbon cutting may vanish altogether. Republican group Republic tweets that if Zoom calls suffice, we can hire professionals instead of princes. William counters privately that presence is more than physical, influence follows authenticity, not foot mileage. Charles' balancing act. And what of the king? He still answers his red boxes daily, yet insiders say afternoons often include a 90-minute rest. The palace downplays it as standard for a man of 76 under follow-up. His Canadian mini-tour went smoothly, protocol lighter, engagements fewer. Staff insisted on private air ambulance contingency, though it remained unused. Recent bloods, one source claims, show him trending positive, but medics refuse the word cured until late autumn scans. If those scans disappoint, the Windsor reset faces its toughest test. William's trimmed load could balloon overnight under a Regency-style arrangement. Ekatherine's amber days would collide with a national demand for visible leadership. The contingency plan, already nicknamed Project Springtide, lists Princess Anne as de facto deputy, with Edward covering overseas tours. For now it sits locked in a steel cabinet. The longer vision. Behind the daily triage, a broader plan takes shape. From 2026 onward, William wants fewer ribbon cuttings, more impact summits, fewer plaques, more policy commitments. Ekatherine's will expand her early years program via regional hubs, led by on-the-ground experts, allowing her to appear physically only when truly necessary. The couple's communications team is developing a royal service index, data points showing money raised, volunteer hours mobilized, digital reach, so the crown's value can be measured beyond mere diaries. If the index convinces skeptics, the Waleses might pioneer a monarchy where engagement quality trumps engagement quantity, and health becomes a metric of institutional strength rather than a private battle. The wager is bold: adapt or risk irrelevance. William, shaped by tragedy and tested by the hardest 12 months of his life, is staking the family's future on compassion over grind. His grandmother's mantra, "I must be seen to be believed," is giving way to one more attuned to the 21st century, "I must be healthy to serve." Whether Britain, and the Commonwealth beyond, will embrace that shift remains the cliff edge. But if the king, the heir, and the princess emerge from this crucible thriving, historians may date the monarchy's modernization not to Brexit, nor to the Sussex exodus, but to a single June morning when Ekatherine's stayed home, and William realized love could hold higher rank than pomp. We'll be here for every step of that journey, so hit subscribe now, and make sure you don't miss the next chapter in the Crown's quiet revolution.